Mm-hmm. We're the Con Guys, and this is the Con Guys Show, coming to you straight from the nerdy heart of Hollywood, California.
And this is Jim with theconguy.com.
She's been here with theconguy.com.
Katie here, aka the Con Girl.
Zordon did not want 5 teenagers with attitude.
My name is Derek Sam.
I'm Danae Sams, and that's my brother.
We are your home for news, opinions, and interviews from the world of Comic-Cons and fandoms. Your ultimate insiders for all things con.
Just figured out how to use my microphone. Whoops. Hey,
we didn't want to tell you on every other show we couldn't hear you at all.
And it's usually like over there or something, or up turned off or unplugged. But anyways, welcome everybody to the Con Guys Show, where we ain't afraid of no ghost, and we ain't afraid to prove it.
There it is.
This is the best picture I think I've seen in weeks and weeks. Ben, what is this?
So the local nerd bar here in Hollywood, California, which is called Scum and Villainy Cantina, held a special event last weekend approaching the release of the new Ghostbusters film. And they did it in conjunction with the LA Ghostbusters, who are they're a cosplay group, and they go to different events and they raise money and they go visit kids in the hospital and that sort of thing. And they do all kinds of fundraising for stuff like that. And so they did this kind of pre-Ghostbusters event. They had special cocktails, they had trivia, and we went to this thing and it was packed. But that was my wife and I. She dressed as kind of a cute, sexy Ghostbuster, cute girl version, of Ghostbuster. I think she's Ray Stantz. I think her name tag said Stantz. And she, of course, bedazzled the name tag and the little ghost logo on the shoulder. And then I, of course, went as Zool, the lovely Zool. And I'm actually exposing my nipple in this picture.
Yeah, it's scandalous.
But it's a boy nipple, so it's okay.
Not safe for work.
You should have put a pasty on still, like a Ghostbuster pasty.
I think
the little face. Yeah.
Ben, I think you guys need to do more like gender swap things.
We've done it. We've done it once before in the past when we went to a Halloween party a number of years ago, and she was sexy Jon Snow and I was Daenerys Targaryen. And I like doing it because Brie always finds these like sexy chick versions of the male character, and then I just dress up in the costume of the female character, like not gender bent or anything, just me dressed as a woman. And I love it. I think it's hilarious, and I have a lot of fun doing it.
It's a little harder to think of to make like sexy costumes for men, so you just kind of got to go with the natural sexiness, I think.
Back you don't think men are sexy, Katie?
No, I'm just saying there's a female sexy version for pretty much every costume.
Yeah.
So.
This is true.
A number of years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, I dressed as sexy Sloth from the Goonies.
How's that possible?
So I was me, and I was a little thinner then, and I had like muscles, and I had the cut off Superman shirt, and then the pirate's hat, and then I was just like wearing eyeliner, like
I feel like I remember this.
A weird male model thing. I don't know. It was fun.
Is there a pin
where you're going around? Hey, you guys!
I did, and I would hand people Baby Ruth candy bars as I was walking around.
There you go.
Well, everybody, welcome to our Black Friday week Con Guy show. This week we're going to be discussing the brand new Ghostbusters film, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and we have a variety of opinions on this.
Not really, just two.
No. It is the latest installment and perhaps one of the most beloved franchises, I think, of all time. Even though there were only really 2 OG Ghostbuster movies, and then we made the one from 2016, which had the highest opening numbers of any of the Ghostbusters movies. And then this one, I know, crazy, isn't it? And then we have this one, so we're going to talk tonight about whether or not this is a worthy addition to the franchise. Ben,
Blood good.
All right. And then hello, Nathan Rita. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. My name is Jim. I am the editor-in-chief of theconguy.com and one of your co-hosts tonight. And to my left, in the middle square, that's you, Luke.
I guess it is your left from that angle.
Well, when I'm pointing,
You're right. He's left.
Stage left, audience, house right.
Yeah. This is Ghostbuster Cheeseman here. Excited to talk Ghostbusters and about collectibles and shopping. I'm with theconguy.com and a screenwriter. So that gives me rights to talk about the script of Ghostbusters. So my opinion matters.
our
You
opinions
could not
matter.
sound
All
more
right.
thrilled about it. I'm a Ghostbuster.
Oh,
fan.
Oh, we
lost
offended
Austin.
Austin. This generation, they're very fragile.
We
Kids.
lost Austin.
well, in full disclosure, I was about to say, Luke, if you could introduce the con kids with us today. Luke's nephew Austin was with us just a second ago, but it looks like he kind of has some.
He's
troubles
on my
with
parents' internet, so
the worst in the world.
it's hit or miss, you know.
Man, it looks so good. I wonder if he knows that he's not on anymore. You should
I'm
let
sure
him
he
know.
knows.
Send him a text.
All right. But also, he's not the only one from the great state of Ohio. Jake.
Hey, everybody. Yep, it's Jake from the Jacobus system here in my nerd man cave. Here I'm the con guy, collectible guy, and I'm here to talk about Ghostbusters. I'm a lifelong Ghostbusters fan. Excited to talk about the movie and about all the stuff that came out in this past year leading up to it. So
Cool. And then let's drop down to Katie.
It's me, Katie Christine, aka the solo con girl again tonight because the Sams have family things to do because it's the holidays, so it's understandable. So yeah, I am representing the con girls today. I'm wearing green eyeshadow for all the things that are green that we're talking about tonight. So yeah, and my ugly Christmas sweater.
Oh, nice.
yeah, oh sweet.
And my dress form Christmas tree that's in the back right there.
Wait.
But
Is it
it's
turned
hard
on?
to see. No, there's no lights on it yet. It's a work in progress.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I haven't done it for 2 years. But before that, I did a dress form Christmas tree for lack of space in the lovely LA living situations.
What's it called?
So,
Dress form Christmas tree?
yeah, I make a Christmas tree on my dress form.
Oh.
So it's like a little bit fashion-y flair. This has you can't see it, but it's a 20s themed skirt. It's a
That's
flapper
awesome.
dress. I used little jingle bells all around the sides like this to make it look like a flapper dress. So
All right,
yeah.
we need to make sure we see pictures.
You can kind
when
of see it like them reflecting a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
I like
And
that.
last but not least,
Hey, everyone. It's me, old buddy Ben. Ben Cleaver here with the Con Guy. You can find me online. I don't know. Are we doing the online at the beginning of the show or at the end? I don't know.
go ahead and do it.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at BENKLIEWER, or you can search the hashtag BK421. We are coming at you on that hashtag show's network. Really quick plug to our sponsors, Neft Vodka, who, of course, always reminds you to please drink responsibly, as well as Toink.com. Toink has a ton of stuff coming out for holiday season, so go check them out as well. And then, I just wanted to put a quick shout out. In the next weekend, the first weekend of December, that hashtag show is going to have a big presence at Los Angeles Comic-Con. We're going to be doing interviews. We're going to be selling merch. I think we're giving away free t-shirts, some kind of Spider-Man themed t-shirt, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. But anyway, we're going to have a good time at LA Comic-Con. Of course, it's very spread out. They're doing a limited capacity, so it should be pretty decently safe. They're following all state and federal and CDC guidelines as far as distancing and all that kind of stuff. So really excited to go see another con in person. Of course, this coming weekend will be San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that because that is another big one. I'll be interested to see how the turnout for that ends up looking. So
yeah.
Me as well, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all the nerd formation that I wanted to.
Nerd information. All right, Luke, you have a special guest who is with us today, right?
Yeah, we offended him earlier, so he had to jump off. But I talked him down on text messaging, and I sent him a Snapchat, and now we're good to go again. And
It was
we
my
have
nipple,
my
wasn't it?
nephew Austin, the official con kid, here with us. We have different levels, different shows we've been doing. We have the con kids, we got the con guy, we got the scare guy, we got the con girls, and eventually the tiki freaks. You know, it's just one big happy con family of fandom. But Austin, introduce yourself.
I'm
Please.
Austin. I'm with the Con Kids, and my Wi-Fi is terrible right now, so sorry about coming in and out. Like, I'm really trying. Yeah.
Don't worry about it, dude.
He may be young, but he's on older people internet. That's my parents. So.
Oh, it's terrible.
So it's
Ohio.
what do we call the older
dial
generation
up.
of
It's dial up. You've got
the
man.
before the con guys?
Hey,
That's a
Mike
before con
Emke.
existed.
Good to see you, Mike Emke. We are on. Mike Emke has the Weeby Geeks Network out of the Southeast.
Hey.
Yep, and our podcast is on Mike Emke's Weeby Geeks Network down there. So we are so happy for him to be here tonight as well. Oh, hello, Mr. Jonathan Wilkinson. Good to see you as always. All right, guys. So this is Thanksgiving week, and I thought let's start it off really kind of nice before we jump into the whole the tumble discussion about Ghostbusters. But and this shouldn't be hard, but sometimes it is. But like, what's something like maybe from this past year, something that we're kind of thankful for? Let's just set the mood. Something we're kind of out, and I can start just to give you guys time to think. Cheeseman and I are, for people who don't know, we're screenwriters, and we were able to write season 2 of a streaming series about cowboys and motorcycles. It's called Sons of Thunder, and it's going to be streaming coming right out after Christmas. So I am really excited for that. That is something really cool. I'm also very thankful that movies are back in theaters, people are back in restaurants, and I'm thankful that I will be spending this Christmas with my family back on the East Coast in a few weeks. All right, who wants to go next? It's hard to top.
I think you just took like 3 of them right there.
I know. I was trying to give you guys time to think.
Get the juices flowing. I'll jump in next if nobody else is ready. I'm just thankful for the health of my friends and family, the people that I love. On Saturday night, I mentioned this on last week's show. On Saturday night, I hosted a stand-up comedy show in my backyard. And it ended up going really well. It was a blast, and it was just a lot of fun to get back into entertainment. I've basically been taking mostly a hiatus from entertainment. I've done a couple of acting gigs here and there, but really not a whole lot going on during pandemic. So it was really great to get back into entertainment. I was producing the show with 2 of my best buddies, and my wife stage managed the show, and she was awesome. So it was kind of a family affair, so to speak. And it was a blast. And I'm looking forward to doing more, moving back into entertainment now that, as Jim was saying, people are back in restaurants, people are back in movie theaters, movies are back in movie theaters, and the world is healing. So that's what I'm thankful for.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Does anybody else want to go? It doesn't have to be big and great like what Ben just said. I was going to ask you about the show anyways. I'm glad you brought that up.
I mean, I can say something, I guess. I mean, I think, with 2020 and as I call 2021, 2020 part 2, hopefully there's not a part 3, but TBD. So I think 2021 and 2020 have been years of clarity for some people. And I think it's just been that for me, and I'm thankful that I have clarity. There's still a lot of uncertainties, of course, but knowing that this year has been a time to reflect on things, I'm thankful for that. And I'm also thankful that I get to go home this weekend to spend time with my family because I have not been home in a hot minute. So
that's really cool. That's really cool. All right, who else?
I guess I can get super mushy here.
Oh yeah,
Mush.
Well, mush. Just being able to be home and be with my daughter, who is 14 months now, and just watching her grow up over the last year. It's just unbelievable. The greatest gift of all time. It's just amazing to see her, grow and learn and get excited about things and stuff. So that's obviously the the obvious answer, but like you guys too, being able to go back and do things in the real world, go to movies, and especially for me, because I'm a big music fan, I go to concerts again. Went to go to see a couple of shows not too long ago. So just, yeah, like you said, the return to normal, and also just connecting with loved ones and, keeping it real.
That's awesome. Jake, we got to get more pictures of, I love some of those shots you do of your daughter. Luke just showed me one yesterday with the sunglasses on. That was did you dress your daughter up like in Kiss outfit?
She had, yeah, we each have we have matching Kiss t-shirts. So there's a couple pictures where I put her in that, and we were holding.
All right, I love that.
Yep.
One day they'll eventually finish each other's sentences. It'll be adorable.
She's my little mini me.
Yeah.
All right. Before we move
on,
Cheeseman and Austin, you guys got anything?
Well, I'll get mushy. I'm thankful that I've been able to see Austin play his final year of football. I've gotten to travel back to Ohio. My dad got to celebrate 25 years of a football program started. It's really cool. And then, getting to see Austin play and play in a third place championship game and them getting the trophy at the end of the game. That was pretty cool. I'm thankful for, of course, you guys, thankful for being able to see movies, being able to see concerts, and of course, more travel and different places, and just for work opportunities continuing, even, that's in a key place that, to still be able to work and still be able to see people. And, I'm thankful for that.
So next year you can do 12 trips to Ohio, right?
I'm going to break the record.
I know, we never knew where Luke was at this year.
Yeah, he's got to come visit me.
Yep. Austin, what position you play?
Oh, I play linebacker.
Nice. I like that.
And
I was a defensive end back in my day.
Oh, nice.
A little bit of tandem positioning there. Then work in sequence.
Yeah.
You played offense too?
Yeah. No, I played fullback. I was more into linebacker though.
Yeah. Well, fullback is a little less interesting than linebacker.
Oh, for sure. I like placing the hit.
Yeah.
But
nice.
I'm thankful for being able to play this year for sure. I wasn't really supposed to because I kind of went over the age limit, but last year kind of got botched. So they gave me an opportunity to play again. So I'm super thankful for that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, this is great. Set the tone. I'm just thankful that we have another. I'm amazed that this podcast has gone so long. That we have been able to come together. You guys are. I've grown close with everybody here. This is kind of like a cool thing that this has enabled me to see you guys on a more what do you call it? A more scheduled basis, like
a regular basis.
Yeah,
that's the word I was looking for. I have
On
not
the
done
reg.
anything either. Like it's just crazy. Maybe I need to. That'll help me out. But no, it's just. Oh, thank you, Mike Emke. Seriously though, thankful. Well, this is what he said. He goes, "I'm thankful for." Never mind.
Well, I think that's really great. He's thankful that it's the 30th anniversary of Nirvana's album Nevermind.
There you go.
And then also thankful for many of the great shows like the Con Guys on the Podcast Collective. That's awesome. Is this really the 30th anniversary
of Nevermind? Yeah.
Get out of town. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Andy Harrow. It's so good to see you. Andy is going to be down at LA Comic-Con. He let us know. And Andy be looking for some of us on this podcast. I don't think all of us are going to be able to make it this year, but hopefully some of us will be there. And then if you are down at San Diego, I don't think Andy's going to San Diego this year is what he told us. But a couple things real quick before we jump into Ghostbusters Afterlife. This weekend, and Ben already mentioned it, there is the Comic-Con special edition. But if you are able to go down this weekend, myself, I was about to talk about Luke as he leaves the podcast.
First Austin, now Luke.
So basically, this is Luke Cheeseman's very first Comic-Con panel. Luke, come back just for a second so we can talk about the panel. Okay.
All right, in the bathroom.
That's my uncle.
That's okay. Anyways, So I will be on, if you are around, on Sunday. I'm going to be on full-time creative work on a part-time schedule where panelists cover what creative folks need to know to make their projects happen outside of the talent that they already have. The focus is on time management, resource management, and communication. So basically, it's a panel about, all of us here, we are trying to like do something creative, maybe outside of our normal 9 to 5-ish. And that's not the easiest thing to do. Luke Cheeseman. All right.
I heard you. I didn't miss anything. I heard it. I just wasn't on screen for it.
I know, but we were talking about your panel. Luke, this is your very first Comic-Con panel. And Luke, you're in a panel called The Importance of Online Branding and Professionalism. The panelists discuss online branding and online presence as a collection of tools, knowledge. This sounds boring, guys, but it's kind of a cool panel. Basically, if you're doing a creative endeavor, the importance of your online presence. And that's so very important. It's going to be Luke. Sean Gloomis is going to be on there. Renee Woltzinger, who is she's got a PhD. Ron Coleman, who he's a molecular geneticist who also has a PhD. Gosh, Luke, you're on with all the smart folks.
Yeah.
And then Stephen Burns, digital artist, author, and lecturer. This is kind of cool. There's a lot of people on that one. That's gonna be a good panel. I can't wait to see it.
I'll be the fool on the panel.
So Luke's panel is 3:00 on Sunday. Mine is 4:00 Sunday, closing out the con. So, are you serious? This is also the 35th anniversary of Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Just keep them coming, people. What else are we celebrating?
All right. So, and I just want to mention it real quick. The Con Kids, I think you guys, Austin, what is your next project? What's your next show you guys are covering?
Yeah, so tomorrow I think Hawkeye comes out. So wait, not tomorrow, 2 days. It's
Okay,
Monday.
I was like,
But I forgot what day it was. No, but when Hawkeye comes out, we'll be doing a series on that. So
Con Kids be
So
covering
excited.
Hawkeyes. That's cool.
so excited.
I think it is a different day in Ohio right now. I think it's that far.
Yeah. With our
Katie, give
intro already tomorrow.
a little bit of a promo. Katie, you guys, the Con Girls are planning on a show in a few weeks as well.
Yeah, we have been really slacking on trying to get it put together, but we will be discussing The Witcher in some way, shape, or form. I don't know exactly how it's going to work yet because it is a binge show, so it's a little bit more logistics-wise to figure out how to get those taped in time so people can binge watch it.
All right.
But yeah, Witcher Season 2.
So there's a lot going on. All right. As Luke disappears, any other announcements before we jump into Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to leave, Jake.
Okay.
Completely side note, which I guess we could kind of talk about on the Black Friday part, but Target announced they will not be open on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Today. So
Oh, wow.
kind of some cool stuff for some retail people, because I know that there's always a lot of controversy on, people who work retail not getting time with their families on the holidays, on Thanksgiving in particular, so they will not be open, and they announced that today, which their Black Friday deals are already going on. So, like,
I think that's really cool. Yeah.
I think it's cool, but can I say, if you can go online and get their Black Friday deals online, I don't know if that's much of a sacrifice for Target, but oh well. Let's but I'm not going to say
it's about giving the workers the time off, though, Jim.
Yeah,
not they're not making money.
No. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. When I was in high school and college, I worked probably I always had to work on Thanksgiving, so it sucked. It sucked.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing. So go home, be with your families, be with the ones you love.
I do need to mention something.
Yes.
We have an Agent Poison Ivy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wait. I'm gonna find a picture real quick.
Okay, so for those of you who don't pay attention to DC TV, which I don't blame you. It's very like this. But I used to do the after show for Batwoman Season 1, and then for a while there, for hashtag, I was writing articles about Season 2, and then I lost interest and just kind of stopped. Nicole Kang has been on the show since it started. She is part of Team Batwoman. She posted a sneak peek of her costume, and she is now Poison Ivy, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Jim has it. a picture up there, but she is going to be Poison Ivy. So
Nice.
if anybody knows the cosplay characters I love and characters in general, it's Poison Ivy. Ever since I first saw Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy in Batman and Robin, I've been like waiting for another live action version of Poison Ivy. And the fact that she is an Asian woman just floors me beyond belief. Like, and her costume is so badass. I am just living for it. And on another Asian actor note, Simu Liu was the first ever Asian host on Saturday Night Live.
Actually,
was he on this week?
He was. So he said that at the beginning of the show. He's like, I'm the first ever Asian host of Saturday Night Live to be the fourth Asian host of Saturday Night Live. So he's actually the fourth. There have been 3 other Asian hosts, because like I remember Lucy Liu hosted.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought, but I was like,
yeah. He said he said I'm the first.
Is he the first male?
I don't know, but to point out something that Jim said last week about, you were like, man, I can't wait till we're past all this. Oh, this is the first time this type of person has been in this movie or something like that. They did a sketch. Simu Liu and Bowen Yang, who's a cast member on SNL, did a sketch about, oh yeah, I'm always getting these awards for being the first Asian to do this or the first Asian to do that, and it was hysterical. It was so funny.
Yeah. But he is the first Asian SNL cast member.
Bowen Yang is the first full Asian.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, because when I saw the opening credits, I haven't watched SNL in a while. Occasionally I'll watch it. I didn't know that, and I was like, wait, there's an Asian cast member now, and so that was a delight to watch as well. So I'm sorry, I totally was like, I don't think he's the first Asian host, but he said he is the first Asian host, but then he said he wasn't the first Asian host. It was a little confusing.
Yeah,
the fourth Asian host.
He said he was the first Asian host to be the fourth Asian host of SNL.
But you know what? That's a good thing.
But either way,
that's a good thing.
4 Asian hosts in the history of that show is not many.
Yeah,
well, I know, but the fact that he wasn't, I mean, being the first is exciting, but he was the fourth. So at least they're a little bit less, you know. Who are they? I'm just curious who the other ones were.
I know Lucy Liu. I remember when Lucy Liu hosted. But that was like
that.
late 90s or early 2000s.
Has Steven Yeun hosted?
No, I don't think Steven Yeun has.
I was gonna guess like Jackie Chan or somebody like that.
I don't feel like he
might have been in the
we'll
90s.
We'll figure this out, and we'll
figure it out. All right.
I tried to look it up, and it was not easy to find. So.
All right, let's talk Ghostbusters. More specifically, Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I'm just going to give us a little bit of background from the LA Times article, which came out today, just to kind of set the table for us. Moviegoers ain't afraid of no ghosts. Sony Pictures' Ghostbusters Afterlife scared up $44 million this weekend, exceeding expectations and unseating Disney's The Eternals atop the domestic box office, which is a cool thing. There's Alex better. Anyways, it's the 4th installment in the spooky franchise. It was projected to bring in between 30 to 35 million, so it went over that by a big chunk of change. But it's because it's been delayed by like a year. It was supposed to come out last year, but COVID-19 kind of put a nix on that. Eternals fell to 2nd position in its 3rd week. So without adjusting for pandemic-related losses or inflation, Afterlife notched the 2nd biggest opening for a Ghostbusters movie, just barely trailing the all-female revival, which launched with $46 million in 2016. And this is directed by, the thing that's cool, it's directed by Jason Reitman, the son of the original Ghostbusters filmmaker Ivan Reitman. Stars Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, McKenna Grace, Logan Kim, Celeste O'Connor, and Finn Wolfhard as a new generation of phantom hunters investigating something strange in their neighborhood. All right, let's go. I know that Ben and Kate are going to have a lot to say. I would love to hear. And this is the we call the Circle of Love. And if you guys are listening to this podcast, we are going to talk about specific instances. We probably will not try to, bust up and give everything away, but
there's some spoilers we will have to mention, I'm sure.
We're going to have to, like the parts that made me cry, I'm going to have to mention why it made me cry. All right, I would love to know, and let's start with Austin, because Austin, we never know when your internet's going to cut out. So we have to know, Austin, what did you think of Ghostbusters?
I liked it. It was honestly, I didn't have the greatest expectation just because I'm like, any movie now, like, I like to put low expectations so it blows just so it's good, like in my mind.
Yep.
But I liked it for sure. I liked how they incorporated like new like concepts and built upon the old foundation. So they kind of incorporated the events of, I think it was 1984 or something is when it happened. Into the film and kind of gave it like a purpose instead of just rewriting it. So that was my favorite part. And then Paul Rudd, Paul Rudd's amazing.
Sexiest man alive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, who wants to jump in? Who wants to jump in here? Let's talk about the stuff that definitely was like the highlight of this movie. Some of the highlights of the movie.
I can say. So here's the thing that.
I was gonna say, we're getting spoilers, or are we?
I'm not into spoilers yet.
Okay.
Let's
give my overall reactions.
Because for me, the highlight of the movie is a spoiler. So
yes.
Okay.
The trailer told us very little.
Right.
And the movie gave us a lot. And so I really enjoyed the fact that the trailer held out a lot. I smiled. I laughed. There was some really cheesy humor, but I didn't hate that because, the original is obviously a lot older, so there's a cheesy humor as well. I think they did a good blend, like Austin was saying, a good blend of old and new. There's something for a new generation who didn't grow up on Ghostbusters, and something for the original fans, and I think that they handled it very gracefully. And I also cried. I went through the whole spectrum of emotions for this movie, and Paul Rudd and Finn Wolfhard and I think Celeste, is that her name? The female lead? Was that her name? What's the lead girl's name?
That's Carrie Coon.
Carrie, okay, gotcha.
She's
sorry.
one of my favorite actresses by far. They
so well encompassed and looked, and the makeup and hair for them, both her and Finn Wolfhard, was genius. They looked exactly like they needed to, and honestly, I had pretty high expectations because it had good reviews from what I heard, people who did praise ratings of it, and I think it exceeded my expectations, so I was happy. I'm going to go see it again for sure. I saw it in IMAX, so.
Oh, I did too. I did too. We were supposed to see it in the same IMAX, but I'm kind of transition. I got some work stuff that is forcing me to work later, and I had a work function which went.
I saw a ton of people at my showing that I knew. Like, I just keep seeing more people. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Well, this weekend at I don't know if you were part of it, Ben. No. It was some folks from work. I saw there was they made a big event out of Ghostbusters opening this weekend. They had the Ecto, they had the cars there. They had all the Ghostbusters dressed up. Nice. Like Ben said, probably some of the area Ghostbusters from Los Angeles were there. It was a big event over at Universal Studios this weekend. That was really cool.
Nice.
All right, Ben, I want to hear.
I really had a lot of fun. I was not sure what to expect when the first trailers came out, and it's just like Finn Wolfhard's driving the Ecto-1 through a wheat field, and I was like, what's that? And then the final trailer came out, and they did a little tease of like, oh, maybe we'll get a little shot of the original guys, like, well, at least the living ones, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and what's that guy's name? Bill Murray. And so then I was a little more excited. I love the original Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I felt like this one, the thing with Ghostbusters 1 and 2 is they made it as like kind of an adult comedy, and then it hit really big with kids. And so the studio's like, make Ghostbusters 2 a kids movie. And they kind of did. And then they made it into a cartoon. I felt like this one does not exclude Ghostbusters 2, but it doesn't really include it either. You could go watch the original Ghostbusters and then watch this one and not lose anything without having seen Ghostbusters 2. Although I do love Ghostbusters 2. That being said, I was very skeptical about the idea of, oh, we're going to do a Ghostbusters movie without the Ghostbusters in it, and so I was a little wary about that. And then again, like I said before, I knew that the original guys were going to make an appearance at some point. And then I started reading the reviews from movie critics, not the audience reviews, the critics reviews. And the critics reviews were very meh on it. That I think the critics reviews on Rotten Tomatoes were something like 66% or in this high 60s or something, and they were like, oh, it just like depends on nostalgia and it doesn't have any substance and it's not even that funny. Listen, the original Ghostbusters was not a slapstick laugh a minute comedy. It was funny because of the absurdity. It was almost like, not to the same level, but like with Airplane, they took it so seriously and it was such a ridiculous concept. You know, they presented the original Ghostbusters in somewhat of a similar way, though not to that level of heightened, you know, weirdness. But the original Ghostbusters was not a laugh a minute slapstick crazy comedy. It just depended on like the dry humor of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and all those guys, and Harold Ramis, rest his soul. And so I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was like, is this going to be good? And then I went and saw it and I was absolutely floored. My wife and I absolutely loved it. We went and saw it on a date. Sometimes when I'm watching a movie, I'm like, okay, what time is it? I'm liking it, but is it almost over? I got plans. And this one, once it was over, I was like, I want more. Give me more of this. And I felt it was this is my last thought on this. I felt it was a great adaptation to take this movie series from the 1980s, try and keep the same spirit without just trying to remanufacture it. And then, even though there was some level of remanufacturing some story points, but they did such a good job of making it a very modern movie, not a laugh a minute slapstick, but still very funny, with a lot of really great solid ties back to the original storyline that fleshed out the original storyline as well, with a couple of celebrity cameos outside of Paul Rudd and that sort of celebrity cameo. There's one blink and you miss it celebrity cameo, which I loved, which we can talk about in a little bit. But yeah,
nice. All right, and before me and Luke jump on it, Jake. Plus, Jake, let's go on Jake. So, are you surrounded by Ghostbusters paraphernalia?
Well, I'll show these once we do the slideshow of the pictures. But yeah, I love the movie. Like I said before, lifelong Ghostbusters fan. Growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, not only the movies were a big part of my life, but also the animated series, The Real Ghostbusters. That was a staple for every Saturday morning. When I was around 6 or so, when Ghostbusters 2 came out, that's what really shot my fandom forward. And I just happened to have my Ghostbusters 2 VHS tape here with the green bubble shell. But yeah, Ghostbusters 2, very good movie. I think it's very underrated. Definitely deserves its spot in the franchise. But yeah, movie's great. One of the things I love about this new one is the stark contrast they have to the first two, which take place in New York City. So when you think New York, it's very crowded. It's very kind of like shut in. And then this movie takes place in Oklahoma, and every scene is just like wide open space. So it's just such a interesting choice to switch it up like that and have that, it's so different from what we've seen before. I'm looking at my notes here. The cast is great. Yeah. McKenna Grace is the one who plays Phoebe. She is Egon's granddaughter. That's not really a spoiler.
Not really a spoiler. Yeah,
you kind of knew that from the trailer and stuff. Finn Wolfhard, he's great. He's been, obviously from Stranger Things and the Stephen King's It stuff. Yeah, he's been a big, part of fandom for the last few years. That's my one thing. I was kind of like, it's hard not to compare it somewhat to Stranger Things because it's like the kids and all that stuff. Plus that he's in it, so it's like, so it's like, but it's still great. Nothing wrong with that. And then my other notes, we can get into these once we get into the spoilers. But overall, yeah, great movie. I loved it. As a fan, I was not disappointed at all.
All right. And Luke, can you give your opinion without spoilers? Because my next statement is going to be spoilery. Luke, we can't hear you. You're muted.
You're on mute.
No, I'm unmuted. Good.
There you go.
Okay. Overall, it was a fun movie. Like, it's definitely something you could watch over and over again. It's even something like I could see myself like owning at some point. Like, I mean, liked the movie, you know, as a thing. I will share like other thoughts later as kind of a screenwriter, things I thought could have been better, but like yeah, overall, like, I mean, the pacing was good. Like Ben said, you know, things went kind of fast where it's like, oh, gee. Well, some of this, I mean, it took a while to get to a certain part of the movie, but then, like, I mean, just overall, the pacing was pretty cool and the effects. And I liked, you know, them talking about some of the older stuff and looking up the vintage footage of the old Ghostbusters and all that. Like, it felt good, like it's all part of that universe and stuff, and had a good kind of like, yeah, just like the cinematic look of it all was great. And then having Paul Rudd be part of this, which I'd love even more of Paul Rudd's, like, you know, improvising type humor and personality, I think fits perfectly with the Ghostbusters. So I think if he's allowed to bring more of that Ant-Man kind of personality into it in the upcoming films, I think that'll even better it even more.
Yeah.
But I think they set themselves up well to kind of continue this, which I hope they will.
Which there's 2 post-credit scenes. If anybody hasn't seen it who is watching this, there's 2 post-credit scenes. Well, 1 mid-credits, 1 post-credits.
Yep.
So.
And Katie or Austin, I don't know, or Jake, we have a question from a listener. Have you guys ever played the Ghostbusters video game that came out in 2008 or 2009? I heard it was really good, and a lot of people say this is Ghostbusters 3. Jake?
This is definitely Ghostbusters 3, but I have not played the video game.
I haven't played it, but a friend of mine, and Luke knows him too, our friend Nick Bory, and he played tons of games. And I remember going over to his house around that time, and he was playing it. He had rented it from Blockbuster Video, R.I.P. But it was really cool. And that was like how Andy said, it's Ghostbusters 3, because that was the last time all of the cast got together. And even though it was in live action, they just provided their voices for the game. That was kind of like the closest we got to Ghostbusters 3. Yeah. But yeah, I've heard great things. I've just never played it myself, but I've seen a lot of the clips, and obviously sitting there watching him play it, and it was pretty fun.
So let me kick us into. By the way, we can talk about Ghostbusters some more, the things that they did well, because I like the movie, and contrary to what my text message stream, because I have some other feelings about the movie as well, but I did like the movie. Paul Rudd and Carrie Coons, they're just perfect. And what was the girl's name? Oh, she's the daughter.
Phoebe.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
She was,
McKenna Grace is her
McKenna
name.
Grace.
Grace, yeah.
She was very, very good in what they were having her do. And being this sort of an outcast, nerdy girl who kind of saves the world. You know, it was kind of cool. I really did like that.
It's so weird seeing them do the press for it now, because they shot the movie like 2 years ago.
Yep.
And she looks like so much older now.
And she has blonde hair.
Yeah.
When you see her in the movie, it's like, wow, it's like a totally different person.
Yeah.
You know, we were going to try to do, I don't think we got it. Like, Luke and I went to the Sony lot, is it 4 years ago, for the 35th anniversary?
Yeah,
of
it was in 2019. I actually have I didn't have time to adjust the audio, so I don't know if it's better to just share on social media later. I mean, I could throw on random clips, but I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. No, but we saw, we went to the Sony lot for the 35th anniversary of Ghostbusters. We saw Ivan Reitman and what's his son? Jason. Okay. Ivan and Jason, they were interviewing each other on stage, talking about the older Ghostbusters and then this Ghostbusters. And it was such a very, very cool interview. And yeah, so what we'll do, Luke, if you a little bit later, if you want to share it on social media, that might be good. Or if you wanted to share one now, that's fine as well. But is this one?
I mean, that's a photo.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's him and his son there, and then Kato.
Kato Caitlin.
He was there at the event, kind of emceeing a lot of the stuff in a Ghostbusters outfit.
That was bizarre. That was weird. Yeah, but that's when I really got excited about Ghostbusters, and perhaps my expectations got too big, because like when you get your expectations get so big, then you kind of ruin it for yourself. And I'm here to say that there's a little bit of Ghostbusters that didn't quite go as well as I would hoped it had gone. And I'm going to say this though before we go there. The last I liked the movie
Spoiler
by
alert.
itself all the way through. It was a great film. It was fun all by itself. But the last 20 minutes reminded me why I love Ghostbusters. That last 20 minutes was just, I think it was, and I did get tears in my eyes because it was just so good. And spoiler alert, we are going to start discussing part of it because and then the last 10 minutes is when we finally got the return of the 4 original Ghostbusters. And it was amazing. But Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, just to see those two guys. I'm sorry?
I would count it as all 4.
It is all 4. I don't understand.
Just because you're a ghost, he was still there, and he was a major part of the storyline.
And the storyline of him returning back, I love that. That was so nice. So yeah, we did get the final Ghostbusters coming back to help save the day when all hope is lost. They step in and they help out to save the day, and that to me that made the movie worth me saying yes. I definitely think it's a go see it movie. So, but Luke, I'll let you start. I know that but let me say this too. Last thing. I stopped reading the LA Times article, but this was towards the end of their article. They said, on review aggregation site Rotten Tomatoes, Afterlife is scoring a middling 62% with critics. It's got a 96% with the audiences, though. So there's a big disparity there. Critics give it 62%, while the LA Times called the sequel listless, creatively bankrupt, and unaware of the charm and appeal of its predecessors. They didn't pull any punches. And I've got to tell you, a little bit of what they said I kind of agree with. And it might be because I'm older, but
not every movie is for one particular audience, though. That's the thing that I think everybody's kind of getting lost in right now with a lot of movies, is they're like, oh, it wasn't my movie. It's like, okay, great. But this kid over here who's never had that nostalgia, he enjoyed it. And it's about keeping these franchises alive so that new generations can see them. So I feel like sometimes people get too stuck in their own personal feelings about a movie to not think about the other people.
That's the point of giving your own personal opinion, is it's your own personal opinion.
I get that, but I'm saying I think some people are missing the fact that not everything is just about one person's opinion on it.
Perhaps, but I think that this writer was saying what he liked or she liked. I don't know who wrote this. So, if somebody else liked it, that's not. This writer isn't responsible for writing that person's opinion. They're just writing their opinion, and it is the opinion of probably about 40% of critics. Is that?
I'd say critics, but I haven't seen a lot of negative comments from fans and non-critics.
But you know what? I'll be the first to admit I'm starting to I don't believe critics very much anymore because I haven't for a while.
I haven't for a long time. Yeah.
Well, I used to I think Roger Ebert was spot on in almost everything he said. He called Friday the 13th, the first one of the most atrocious, worst movies that was ever made, and he's not off the mark. Although I still love that movie. No, but Luke, I want to hear some of your opinions because Luke was the one that was kind of like bringing some of the stuff up.
Yeah. So I will go on again and say, as a movie, like, great movie. I want to watch it again. It's something you can kind of watch on repeat. And to me, it felt more like a Goosebumps or Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It felt like if you look at it as a film of that and not as a Ghostbuster film, excellent movie all the way through, very fun, the whole story. But as a Ghostbuster, the charm it is losing is it doesn't feel like an SNL led movie, which is what kind of inspired the original, having those kind of actors, the SNL, the comedy throughout. And a problem that's happening in some movies and is that a lot of times kids won't be kids in movies. Like the podcast character was great. Like he had kind of that kids stuff. And, some of the characters were a little more serious, but it was like when the adults showed up as the Ghostbusters, then it kind of had that playfulness that it kind of needed. And Paul Rudd did bring a level of the playfulness, but I felt like he was a little restrained who Paul is and how hysterically just stupid he can get. He has no pride in trying to act a certain way. Like this whole sexiest man alive thing just makes him completely just like me. Paul Rudd, he'll just do anything. He doesn't really care. Where I think I'm excited to see what they do with the next one, and if they bring more of the adults in, because I felt like the adults know how to be children more than the kids actually did in the film, because they were just so kind of serious throughout. Because I really want that, like, as a Ghostbusters movie, like I want that fun and games moment of they're like, we're ghost busting, like we're putting up flyers, we're going in some old lady's house and shooting some ghost, and kind of, because that the whole charm of the Ghostbusters is having that media kind of presence in it, and not just like this little secret of them kind of sneaking around town. And they work so well like in the city before, because they're like having ads, or the people you call, who are you going to call, like I wanted more of that in there. And especially with the kid having a podcast, like it's like whoever was like, oh, what are kids doing today? Podcasts. And they didn't really like have them actually going around and like interviewing people or doing stuff that actually felt like a podcast like we're doing, or show them actually doing a podcast besides just, I'm a kid walking around with a microphone, recording it and acting like I'm doing a podcast. It's like they didn't know what a podcast was, whoever was kind of writing on this. But I just think there was a level of fun and that SNL kind of feel that could have brought in and all that. Because Ghostbusters, for just as much for adults as it is for kids, it's something that kind of brings us all together. And it's this timeless thing, which it didn't quite have the timeless charm it is. Again, it's a great movie as is. If you just look at it as a movie, great. But as a Ghostbuster movie, it needed more of that SNL type thing. And I know I think with the one before, I'll admit I didn't see the last one, partly because of the reviews and other stuff. I probably should see it so I have an opinion on it. But I know that one had a little more of the SNL vibe to it. But
not in a good way necessarily. I did not enjoy it. But.
Oh, I thought the last one was fine. But that was a complete remake. It was
fine. It just
there were like winks to the original, but that one was a lot more like goofy, funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Melissa McCarthy. I mean, let's love her, but
Kristen. And I don't want to throw shade on it because I can't have an honest opinion about it because I didn't see it. I do want to see it now, so I can kind of compare this whole thing. But I'm excited to see where they go from here, and especially with kind of the end credit scenes of kind of bringing in some of the older generation. Because like once those guys showed up, I'm like, oh, this has that banter that you need in a Ghostbuster thing, and even like Goonies, like that kind of thing. The kids they were kids, and they had this playful banter. So I just want them to bring a little more of that playfulness into it, into the writing and into the overall feel of it.
I'm going to validate some of what you said there. I kind of agree with and Ben even mentioned it. He alluded to us when he was giving his review about how the first Ghostbusters was kind of an adult movie couched in childlike special effects and music and everything. It was kind of like a adult humor, not dirty, but just like a little bit more. And
Dan Aykroyd gets a hoo-ha from a ghost.
Does he really?
Yeah, there's the one
for the
ghost undoes his pants.
Oh, that's right. I just read, one of my favorite parts is like Bill Murray asking the most inappropriate questions of the librarian for after they're interviewing her, and I'm like, it has nothing to do with anything, but it was just so funny. And this, when I was watching this movie, I was enjoying it, but I wasn't like jumping up and enjoying it just yet. Although I was the only one in the theater. Luke will tell you when the Phoebe character called Dan Aykroyd's character and he answered the phone, I started clapping, I was cheering, and I got the whole theater going. And I felt like I had to bring everybody along with me. I wanted more of that cheering, and it was weird. Like the audience didn't. Maybe it was just the audience. It was packed. It was a packed IMAX theater. But I was expecting them to react more like that. It's a good thing I was there. Like there were a couple of scenes that really stored and were great. I love the scene driving through when they first time they're driving the station wagon. The kids are driving the station wagon, and she goes out in the expandable chair arm, and she's fighting the ghost that they're chasing down.
The Muncher.
But, yes. That last 20 minutes is when we got to that point, it changed me. I was like, this is what I wanted the previous 60, 70 minutes to be like. And I know that that's just me. The fact, I wonder if the contracts for the Bill Murray, which he's famously difficult to get back in the Ghostbusters house, So I wonder if he's like, fine, I'll come
if
back.
you watch the movies that made us, he was known to be hard to get anywhere. They didn't even know if he'd actually show up on day one.
Yeah, so maybe
you know
they
who the
could
original.
not...
You know who originally was supposed to be Venkman in the original Ghostbusters?
Was he?
Belushi,
yeah. And
Oh, yeah.
Aykroyd wrote it for Belushi, and I think he talks about it in some interview where he was writing the script, and as he was typing a Venkman line, that's when he got the call that John died.
Yeah, that's on the movies that made us. They talk about
Yeah.
that. I just watched that again recently, and you know, Eddie Murphy was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, and John Belushi as the main Ghostbusters.
And John Candy was the original Rick Moranis character.
Mhm.
If you look at the
storyboards,
yeah, you see the character, and he's like a big fat dude. Is Louis Tully?
Yeah, but he wanted to play it a way that they didn't want it to be. So then that.
Yeah, he wanted
to talk about the character.
He had an idea. John Candy wanted it to be like when he gets possessed by the dog. He wanted to have like a German accent or something, and they're like, "Okay, yeah," but then he couldn't do it. I think because wasn't he making another movie or something? But anyway, sorry, not to get off.
No. That's I love that stuff. And I was gonna. What happened to Eddie Murphy?
I think he was doing Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, he was just too busy by the time. By the time they got around to actually doing it again, they were just too busy and they'd already kind of like gotten some other characters and kind of rewritten some different things.
Ernie Hudson was great. I'll be honest with you. Ernie Hudson was great.
I love Ernie Hudson.
And the post-credit scene with Ernie Hudson was what made me start thinking, why didn't they start? Okay, I want, and it might just be because of the availability of the actors, but why didn't they start with the original actors? They don't have to have them through the whole movie. And I know this was the passing of the baton, but I just felt we passed the baton in a cameo almost rather than included them into the main storyline. I know the main storyline was, Harold Ramis's character who passed along his farm to his daughter. I'm not buying that storyline. I'm not buying the storyline that he would go off and ignore his daughter for her entire life, but he has all these pictures of her on the wall and he loved her and he comes back and hugs her at the end, which, I love that scene so much. Yeah. But why was he? It almost makes him not like a good character. Like, that's not the guy I remember.
They could have done the same thing, but written that better. That didn't seem like he abandoned them.
Yeah.
Like, they should have been more like his wife thought he was like a total nut, or maybe he did a couple of crazy things. And then she basically kind of like, you're not allowed to be in their life. Because a lot of people, families get torn apart and then the kids no longer see their parent because of, just different things. It should have been more that versus him.
Yeah, they should have had a little more
choice not to see his family.
But you made Egon seem like an abandoner, even though I guess he was protecting them. He was protecting.
He's protecting the world through the portal.
It would have been nice if there would have been a scene where she finds like a journal or something, or he's explaining like, I can't have contact with her because I'm doing this, or like something like that, where he like a letter that he had written to her but he never got to send or something like that. You know what I mean?
Ben, you're trying to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think I'm also fine with the way the story turned out. I think if you maybe this is me just justifying it in my own mind, but if you, by the way, spoiler alert for everybody, anything that follows will probably be a spoiler. But if you look at the character of Spangler in the originals, he's very laser focused, and I'm almost surprised at the idea of him having like a wife and a kid, in that sense. So but I can be led to the point where I will believe that Egon Spangler got married, had a kid, and then realized, Gozer the Gozerian is still a threat. I've discovered this whole thing that connects to the New York City 1984 incident in the middle of Oklahoma, and I need to go out there and protect the world, because, it was Spangler, Venkman, and what was Dan Aykroyd's character?
Stantz.
Spangler, Venkman, and Stantz were the original guys that were like studying all this, and so there is a certain like nobility that I feel like I could justify that as a character trait in Egon Spangler that would drive him to leave his family in New York and go to the middle of Oklahoma to set up a crazy freaking, a nuclear reactor rig to keep sending Gozer back to hell. Again, spoiler alert. So that does read to me, although I do understand what you're saying of like, couldn't they have made him a little bit more likable in that sense? In the opening of the film, when they have a scene with Old Man Spangler, but they never show his face, I thought, oh, that's all we're going to get, because obviously Harold Ramis died in 2014. We all thought it was over when that happened. You know, we thought we were never getting another original Ghostbusters movie. That's why they did the all-female remake, you know, that was supposed to launch a new Ghostbusters universe and totally disconnected from the original. The final post-credit scene with Ernie Hudson's character, with Winston talking about, you know, he's become rich and all this kind of stuff. Yes, that could have been at the opening. I kind of looked at that as, well, the structure of movies now, and they are trying to set up the new character storyline. So to me, that does make sense that they would put it at the end to kind of fill in that backspace. The one thing I would say is Winston said that or maybe it was Stan said that the original Ghostbusters firehouse had been turned into a Starbucks. And then there was a shot of Ernie Hudson walking into the abandoned Ghostbusters firehouse. And I'm like, where's the Starbucks?
Yeah.
I feel lied to.
I guess it was.
Oh.
It might have just been him ad-libbing, or it could have been a different firehouse. They never said.
That's what I was wondering too, though, Ben. I was like, wait, I thought they said it was a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what did confuse me. Now, granted, we didn't see the front of the building, so maybe maybe it was a Starbucks that closed down or something. But like, it didn't look like it.
No, yeah.
What I will say, for me personally, any of those points that we brought up, I will validate them, saying, yeah, there is ground behind that you can back it up on. None of them were big enough to really bother me about the storyline.
No.
I did want to bring up one thing real quick before we get too far off about the whole thing about him being distant with his daughter and stuff. I've seen the movie twice now, and I really want to watch it. I really want to watch it like on Blu-ray or something where you can pause it, because during the scene where she's going into the basement and seeing all the pictures of her on the wall, there's all these little notes, and the shots are so fast, but I was able to catch a couple of them where you try to read his little notes on it, and it just shows how much of the like his way of thinking, like there's a picture of his daughter at a certain age, and there's like notes and says like facial freckles have doubled or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like putting little things like that. And then one really nice, sweet picture of her daughter. And it said like, photo has strange reaction to me, causing pulse to quicken or something like that. Like that, it was just a perfect like Egon line, you know?
That's nice.
So it's like, yeah.
That is nice. And go ahead, Katie.
Honestly, like with what you guys were saying about just his character development and like how it didn't portray him well. And I get you guys have valid points, like Ben said, but I do also think that it can be really reminiscent to how some people actually do change and react this way. There are people who abandon their kids and everything with no explanation at all, not because they don't love them, but they just don't. And so for me, I feel like there are some people who can relate to that, and I feel like that sometimes we don't get that explanation, just like sometimes those families don't get their explanation. So it didn't really bother me too much, because I was like, it's not our business. Like, if that sounds weird, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if someone's like, oh, my dad abandoned me, we're not going to be like,
well, that's not our business, but this is Egon.
I get that, but I guess it just didn't really faze me.
I'm Annie Potts. She was one of the best parts of the original movie. She was so funny. She was not really used very well in this one.
No, she was underutilized, definitely.
Yeah, and I wanted her to say something typical, funny, Ghostbustery. But that's beside the point.
The after credit scene made up for that. You got to see that clip, the deleted scene from the first movie. About
I did love that
coin or whatever. Like that was really cool.
That was,
but yeah, I thought just her little cameo at the beginning. It was like, that's it, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why. Like her and Egon, they were sweet on each other. Yeah. Why couldn't they have played up that storyline and let us, as fans, believe that they did have a life together? And maybe, who knows? Maybe she's the one having to explain why Egon never. I don't know.
So if you watch the
movie, I don't want to dwell on that too much.
About that real quick. This is another spoiler.
Yeah.
after the mid-credits sequence, you see Sigourney Weaver.
That's all we see her.
Yeah, but it's her and Venkman in the scene, and they both have wedding rings on.
Oh,
are they married to each other, or is that just a random thing? But I noticed that as she's holding the card up, she has a wedding ring, and he has a wedding ring on too. So
okay, they must be because.
But they never
married.
Inappropriate if they're
they
probably
never say something because he says something about like, well, certain feelings of love, and then she like shocks him again and stuff.
All right.
So I was like, that's a cool little thing that wasn't super obvious, but I was like, oh, I noticed that.
Yeah, and I know we do got to kind of move on a little bit here, and I want everyone else. But the one other thing that Luke pointed out right after we saw the movie is, who you gonna call? We didn't get that song in the movie. We got it at the very end. We didn't have the fun Ghostbuster feel, and I think if I had to sum up the part I thought was missing, I did think it. I think the original movie was just such a monumental feat. It was so wonderful. And I did like this movie. But I felt like that the heart of the original Ghostbusters didn't feel like it was in this movie. This movie felt like it may, except for the last 20 minutes, it felt like another franchise to me. It felt like a good movie. It felt like it was a good movie. I'd suggest everyone go see it. I'll probably see it again. And I love Paul Rudd. That guy's great. But
yeah,
I don't want to diminish it. I would give it a high mark, but I don't want to diminish the movie. Those are the things that bugged me.
The only thing, like, I really liked it. The only thing that I really was like, why did they do that? Was they had to go back and retread over the Gozer.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah,
it was like you had that in the first movie. In the second movie, you had Vigo, the Carpathian, the guy in the painting. That was fine. Like, okay, it could have easily have just been some other villain, some other new thing you see. And even though it was cool to see the Terror Dogs and to see Gozer and have Olivia Wilde.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah. When you had Olivia Wilde playing Gozer, that was really cool. But
that was one of my favorites. I heard Olivia Wilde was playing Gozer, and I was like, oh, that's kind of perfect. And then it actually was her in the movie, and I was like, yes.
Wait, that was Olivia Wilde? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was Olivia Wilde.
And J.K. Simmons was the guy.
Evo Shandor. I was just going to say my other favorite cameo was J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, so that was really cool. But it's just like, because that's a lot of the criticism this movie gets is that it's too much fan service. Like, they're just doing this to appease the fans. But then it's like, okay, if it was all fan service, then why was Slimer not in the movie at all?
I know, I miss
that was bothersome.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Jake, because that actually was the last thing I wanted to say was when it comes to movies like this and it comes to sequels of franchises that came out so long ago, or just in general, you really have to be able to balance the proper amount of fan service and not having too much. And I think that this had a good amount of fan service and a good amount of nostalgia without overloading it. Because if you did overload it, yeah, you're going to make certain people happy, but the new generations, new people who've seen it, other people are not going to be happy. So I think this movie did a good job at balancing that, because if it had been too much, then I don't know if I think it might have actually made it hurt the movie, which is interesting to me, though, that the critics are saying it had too much nostalgia, because I don't agree with that statement. I don't think it had too much nostalgia. So I don't know why the critics were saying
I wanted more.
I liked that they went back to Gozer because it connects it to the original movie. I felt like they executed that better than like The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens basically tried to retread A New Hope.
Yeah,
but it was all new except it was the same. And this was Rise
of Skywalker, bringing back the old villain.
Yeah, at least this was the same, villain trying to come back again, and it was a new team trying to stop it. I like how they connected it. Oh, the metal that they built the building in New York was mined out of this mine in Oklahoma. And Evo Shandor was like, he came out here because of the mineral deposits and all that kind of stuff. Like I felt like it was set up much better than there's another empire and they've built another Death Star, but it's bigger.
I agree with you on that one, Ben.
It's a planet this time.
All right, guys, we do have to. I'm gonna.
Before we move on,
all right.
We have the blessing of having somebody that's here. Did have somebody.
I know. I was gonna ask them.
Basically, after hearing all of our ranting and other stuff of us '80s people, because it was basically for his generation that I think they made a lot of these changes to get kind of more of this thing. So. if he does
Andy made a
return,
good point about that. Yeah,
I would like to just hear his rebuttal because he's basically the audience that they were trying to appeal to, I think, the most, even as much as, the fan people we are.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
a
do
hard
love
balance.
the fact. Go ahead,
It's
Ben.
a hard balance.
What I was going to say, it's a hard balance. How do you, of course, in Hollywood, they just want to reboot the franchises because that's where they think, all their money is. Original is too risky. But how do you reboot the franchise, make it for a modern audience, but also appease the audience that liked it in the first place? It's a hard balance to strike.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
And that's also a reason why Finn Wolfhard was in it. I mean, he's in 2 franchises that both.
Yeah, he's the 80s nostalgia kid.
This is not his first time dressing up as a Ghostbuster, is it?
Yeah, that's true.
No. Also, I was laughing because when he goes into the house, I'm like, where have I seen this before?
It was cool.
I was like,
I did like that.
Are we flashing back to it? Is there going to be a clown? Like, I don't know.
Oh, that would have been great. All right, guys. Thank you so much for talking about this. I don't think anyone here disliked the movie. I think we all liked the movie. So I think we all give it kind of a thumbs up. We're going to have to come up with some kind of movie rating system here in the Con Guy so that we can have kind of ratings. All right.
5 gym heads.
And we can't.
Oh my goodness. Austin, he'll be able to come on and give final thoughts, and then he'll jump off for the next. He won't be part of the next segment. But
did you want to do I know you're going to do the Black Friday thing. Did you want to do all the Ghostbusters merch stuff I sent you guys real quick while we're still kind of on the subject?
Yeah, so let's do that.
Okay.
So, since we're going to merge a little bit of Austin coming on, is he coming on, Luke?
Yeah, he said he was.
Okay. So we'll try to get his final closing thoughts. But yeah, we're moving into Black Friday stuff and a lot of cool stuff that is going to be coming out this week. And not necessarily all this stuff is just Black Friday specific, but it's all available this week. You can get it this week because I know, Luke, you want to share some stuff as well. But while we wait for Austin, I'm going to go ahead and go through what Jake. Wait, here's Austin. Let's let Austin give his final thoughts so he can jump off.
We'll release him.
Oh.
Look.
He was there. Oh.
Look.
Oh. There
he is. No, me and Luke were both hitting add to add him in. And okay. So, Austin, real quick before we lose you again, like Luke was asking you a question. What was it, Luke?
Yeah, so with all of what we're saying, you are the target audience for this of like, let's bring in the Stranger Things vibe. Let's kind of do this whole kind of thing. So like, as much as we're fanboys, they're trying to kind of get, because, the people our age have kids like kind of your age and younger. So as being kind of part of that targeted audience, what were your thoughts based on what we're saying? Did they do the right thing by going this direction, or how did you feel? I don't even know if you've seen the original. Have you?
Yeah, I've seen the original. I'm not like super knowledgeable about it, but I have seen it.
Well, then you are the perfect audience. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I like the look of it. Like, sure, they could have been a little more funny with it, like the way Paul Rudd usually is, but it was more adventurous, so it kind of gave it a different like genre, so to speak. I'm kind of a scaredy cat, so I got a little scared on 1 or 2 parts. Being honest.
You got scared? What part scared you?
It's the jump scares. When she's in like the bunker and all that stuff, and then there's just that blank like crack in the wall.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about. I get what you're saying, Austin. It's
like that terrifies me. Like I could have bed now. I'm gonna look around the corner. I'm gonna see that. Like so, it's the small stupid things, but I thought it was really cool. Like, I've seen the granddaughter Phoebe, and young Sheldon. So I kind of like how she brought her personality from that into it, where it's still believable as a kid. Mm-hmm. She's just a really, really like nerdy kid.
Yeah,
I can't really relate. I'm not that smart, but I'm sure other people can. It was more of like the Stranger Things kid that I was like, he's playing a little bit too cool, but he kind of has a good alibi with trying to impress the girl.
Yeah, like I wish he had a little bit more of I don't know if you've seen It, but he was a little more like bigger personality, more funny, kind of snarky with his comments and other stuff in the movie It. Where this one, he had a little more of the Stranger Thing where he was kind of like more Mike, a little more shyer. But he had a coolness to him, but he was a little more shy than he has been in some other stuff, or than he is in real life if you follow him on like social media and stuff. Because he's got a big personality. He's a musician type and all that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Also, to add off the thing you said about the what was it? The whole why he left the house. I can kind of relate with him though, with where his viewpoints were, because for him, like I feel like if I were him and I was like a viewpoint, is that he found it easier for him to think that he left his daughter than bring him into this world of craziness, because she didn't really know too much. Like it seemed like Paul Rudd's character was the only one who really knew about really any of the Ghostbusters. So it almost made it easier by not knowing her. So
Yeah.
He
white fanged her. You probably don't know that term either, because that's an old term. The movie
Luke said he white fanged her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Where you basically kind of like, oh, go, I can't be around you, because you know it's like the best thing for them. So you take kind of the bad role just because they know they're protecting you by not keeping you around.
So
White Fang's on Disney Plus. I just watched
it
it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke, right?
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Austin, I guess last question, then we can let you go. So do you agree? I mean, do you think that they did a good for someone like you who is not super familiar with the original film? Like it's not what you grew up with. It's not this film by itself. You think is a good film?
Yeah, it was really entertaining to watch. Like
Yeah.
it kept my attention the entire time for sure. There were some points where I got a little annoyed at the dialogue because I'm like, it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
But I definitely did enjoy it. I didn't know there was a second end scene though, so now I'm kind of upset. I might go to YouTube immediately after this.
Ah,
There you go.
So
Well, this is a big deciding factor. Austin's a movie collector. Will you be buying this film?
ooh, I don't know. Like I've gotten really cheap with my money, but it's definitely worth watching again. Like I'll rent it for sure.
cool. Austin, thank you so much. I'm glad you joined
Yeah.
tonight, man. I appreciate the perspective you gave us, and hopefully people will tune into the Con Kids as they start talking about Hawkeye this next week.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll try to have that Hawkeye podcast up by the end of the week. So check that out on our Instagram.
That's
Nice.
very cool. All right, you're welcome to stay as long as you like, but I know that Luke said that you might want to jump off. So
He's on a different time zone. It's almost tomorrow for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Austin, thanks,
All right,
man.
so tomorrow. Yeah, thank you
All right.
for having me. See you
All
guys.
right.
Hi,
See you-
Austin.
See you, buddy. So, real quick, we don't want to spend a lot of time here since we've gone so long, but let's go ahead and I'll go through these pictures. Jake, tell us what it is that we are looking at. And these are some collectibles and toys that will. Oops.
I don't know anything about that one.
Ben missed that one.
I missed that
It was
too.
true.
Did you see this?
There
one?
we are.
Collectible.
I know. Wait, does Bree see it?
Yeah, Bree. Well, she just came in here because our dog's being rambunctious.
Hey, those people look great.
Hey, Bree.
Hi.
You guys look great. This is like the best shot. I love this picture of you guys. All right. Well, good
I
to
she
see
did
you.
my full makeup too. Bree did my makeup, did the cheekbones. You can't see because I'm wearing a mask, but
I did notice the eye makeup. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. That looks awesome.
I gave him a full face, y'all.
Is this a new dog?
Yes.
This is Indiana.
Ah, Indiana.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you weren't on the show when we
Oh, I
introduced
don't
her.
think you were.
We got her at the
Yeah.
beginning of October.
Dude, that's awesome.
We still
Yeah,
have
it is.
Kylie.
I love those kind of I had her a Rottweiler Lab mix. Is that what she is?
She is a Rottweiler Shepherd Husky, as far as we know.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah,
But we
mine
did
had
send-
Shepherd too.
We send her DNA off to get analyzed, so
Okay.
we'll find out.
She's 4.5 months and she's already 36 pounds.
Yeah, probably more than that.
Doesn't she look like Butch? Jake knew my
Yeah.
dog Butch.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a baby.
That's a big dog.
Yeah.
He's a big baby.
Oh, that's
4.5
cool.
months.
It's
All
like
right, I'm
3
moving on.
Kylies.
Oh, yeah.
All right, good to see you, Bree. All right, guys, we're gonna zoom through this, and these are some cool things for Black Friday. All right, Jake, tell us what we got here.
Yeah, well, these are kind of like over the last year, there's just been an explosion of Ghostbusters merch in anticipation for this movie. So this is from Hasbro. This is the Ecto one, kind of like the movie version of the car there. You can see that opens up and it has the thing. If you cut back to me, you can see I have the real thing right here.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Oh, wait. let's get over there.
Very cool. Yep. It has, it has all the working doors and whatnot, and has the gunner seat. So very awesome detailed collectible.
Nice. That's
So
really
that's
cool.
one.
All right.
And then these are the action figures. Oh, okay, yeah. These are the action figures for the movie. You can see they have the OG cast on the left and then the new ones on the right, but you can see there's no Phoebe or Ghost Egon figure yet. So I don't know if they're going to release them as a 2-pack with like, I don't know, like a Comic-Con exclusive or something. I think that would be really cool if they did that. So
that's cool.
We'll see. I don't know. They haven't had any pictures yet. These are from Hasbro also. These are kind of the original Ghostbusters in a kind of like a cartoony version, kind of similar to the OG real Ghostbusters figures. So you can see I have these as well. Zoe, my daughter, loves playing with these because they're just like, they're just very like simple and, they don't really have any things she could like, take apart and choke on her.
All right.
And they have the Ecto one. Oh, I was gonna say this is the Ecto one they have for that as well.
Oh, that comes with these characters. Oh, that's cool.
It fits with them, yeah. So then it also has the as it falls out, the gunner seat as well. So,
nice.
Very fun. And then go back to those pictures. These are the original. Oh, the next one.
Oh, this one.
There you go. Yep, the original retro style Kenner figures that were re-released. I think they were Walmart exclusives. And I bought one of these for Zoe. She loves it. She plays it all the time. It's basically
Who doesn't
like
love a Stay Puft
oh my
Marshmallow
god,
Man?
This is just I had this as a kid, just pure nostalgia, as well as Slimer. I think you might.
Oh
have,
yeah, there he is.
Yep, you might have a picture as well of him on card, which is funny because well, yeah, you can see it says Green Ghost. It was before they gave him the name before they gave him the name Slimer. He was just called Green Ghost. So
that's awesome.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Right? Yeah.
All right.
And so then those are also the retro style re-releases, and then yet another Ecto one here. As you can see,
how many Ectos do you have?
I don't know. I got a few. There's also one behind me on the. You can see right
yes.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yep. So then
Marty McFly in the Batmobile.
Yep.
So
And
like
Mater.
this is one of the characters, right?
Yeah. So that's a vintage Kenner action figure, and actually, I noticed it both times watching the movie. Now, he's in the movie.
Yeah.
There's a scene where he pops. It's an action figure, not based on anything from the movies. They just it was a really popular.
Can you
toy.
describe it for those who are just listening?
It's a ghost with like a big eyeball in his forehead, and then the face, and then when you squeeze it, the eyeball pops out and is attached to a string. And it was just a really popular toy. And in the movie Ghostbusters Afterlife, you see that ghost. You see the eyeball pop out. Yeah, it pops out around the corner, and then the ghost comes around and it pops into.
Oh, that's
head.
cool.
So it was. Yeah. That's like fan service, but that's like super nerdy toy collector fan service. Like it's like, and then those are the re-releases of the retro real Ghostbusters figures.
Are those 4-inch?
These are 5-inch or so. I'd
Okay,
say, probably. Okay. But yeah, again, the packaging and everything exactly like how they came out when the original figures were released in like 1986, I think it was, like when the show started.
Well,
the animated series, the cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoon, of course, they all had different colored jumpsuits. Egon had blonde hair. It was a wild time.
Yeah.
When Luke comes back, I want him to tell the story about there was a certain episode of Ghostbusters, I think, that terrorized him as a child.
Oh yeah, I remember he always talked about that the Boogeyman episode or something.
Yeah, with a giant head. So what is this right here? Why is this?
Okay, so Luke will know about this as well if you grew up in the 80s and 90s. High C Ecto Cooler was like awesome. It was the Ghostbusters themed drink that they had. It was like a tangerine, citrusy flavored thing. They re-released it when the 2016 Ghostbusters came out, but this one they did make I don't know, like a small batch of it or something, because they posted it on Instagram and it was like, who's ready for Ecto Cooler? Now keep in mind, this isn't available for purchase, but if you like our Instagram and follow, you might win some. So people were like mad, like, what the heck? What? Like, what is this ad? This is the most misleading thing ever. Can I buy this or not? So it's interesting.
My friend took a bottle of that to watch the movie.
Oh, really?
So I wonder if he won that, like, got a bottle from.
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the full story, but I saw the Instagram post from High C or whatever because yeah. And okay, so this is from AMC Theaters. They had an exclusive Ecto 1 popcorn bucket. Nice. I wasn't able to get it. I tried to get it, but they were all out. They didn't have it. The top opens up, it lights up, and you can put popcorn in it. It's a collectible.
I
didn't even know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until I saw the movie last Thursday, and then the next day I saw a video, and some guy was like talking about it, like, yeah, they had the popcorn buckets, but they weren't selling them because it technically was before the release date or something.
Oh, jeez.
So then I went back to see. I saw it on Thursday, and I went back. I saw it last night, and when I went there was like nothing. So they either didn't get them.
Probably zipped.
Yeah. So, but I've looked on eBay, and it's the popcorn bucket. You get a free large popcorn with it too, but with that, it's like $35 or something. So the popcorn's what, $20? I know AMC price. That's like,
the nerd in me though, like if there's a popcorn bucket, even though I don't like popcorn, but I will buy souvenir cups and I will buy popcorn buckets like crazy.
Yeah,
like crazy.
I love.
And I looked on eBay already, and it's like people are selling it for like $100, $80, something like that. It's like, okay,
all right. So, and I think I might have these pictures out of order.
Yeah. So that's from yesterday. They have at McGuffin's, which is like the bar
at AMC.
AMC, they had a special drink called the Ghost Trap with Crystal Head vodka, which is Dan Aykroyd's vodka that he makes and sells in those Crystal Skull cups. So again, I went on Thursday and I didn't see the ad for it until later. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that was there. So then when I went last night, I made sure to get one. And it was pretty good. It was like it didn't taste really like Ecto 1, but it was similar. It was much more of like a margarita kind of, but with vodka, I guess, instead of tequila. Very citrusy, very
Ecto Cooler.
Yeah,
Ecto Cooler is what I was talking about.
Luke, do you have a roast there?
What is that?
Look at this. Just the season. I smoked a turkey, so it just finished, so I had to go grab it. But
that's why he's been jumping out of his chair. Luke's smoking a turkey during the show.
He's been smoking for like 5 or 6 hours.
Nice.
Tasty.
Now, Luke, that's not a whole turkey. Otherwise, you did it wrong.
Yeah, it's a turkey breast.
Oh, okay. Then it looks right. If that had been a whole turkey, I was like, you smoked it too long.
Jake,
Uncle Eddie's version.
One last thing.
Anything else?
One last thing to show. I didn't send a picture of it, but Hasbro also did a collaboration, Ghostbusters and Transformers, and they released this figure called Ectotron, which is the Ecto 1 that transforms into this Ghostbuster. And you can see he even has the proton pack.
That's
it's hard to see, but he's got the goggles like Ray has and stuff. And he has the name tag. It says Ectotron on it right there.
Oh, so that's pretty clever.
Amazing.
I like that.
Pretty clever.
And you got the gigawatt one too. This was one of the things I was gonna show at some point. These are on sale currently. So Transformers did a mashup with the Time Machine for Back to the Future, the DeLorean. It's called Gigawatts, the character. So I think Jake, you do have that one too, right?
I have it. He's over on the shelf.
But yeah, it's a similar kind of look and feel to the Ecto one that you just showed.
Yeah.
So I only have one product I'm going to show, but because I knew Jake was going to have his and Luke has his. So, but I was hoping Derek was going to be on the show tonight for this. This is pretty amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's the brand new AT-AT from Lego. It's supposedly being released just this week for Black Friday. After months of rumors and an unfortunate leak, it's been officially revealed that one of the most audacious and impressive Star Wars UCS sets ever is coming out. It's called 75313 AT-AT. It's 6,785 pieces.
Jeez.
Wow. Just get that.
That's got to be like what, $600?
It retails right now for $800.
Yeah.
$800. Okay, I was
going to say, I think.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I think the Falcon a couple years ago was like $800 too.
Yeah,
and I think Derek and Laura got the Falcon, right, Luke?
They did. Yes.
They did.
So they're in the process of putting that one together. I would love for them to get this one to put it together. Of course, it's so expensive.
I was at the Lego store like a week ago, and I was like, I want the Diagon Alley set from Harry Potter, but it's like $400, and I was like, I can't afford $400 right now. But I was like, I've never seen like the box actually at a Lego store, so I was like, oh no, like it's right there. Got it with Bolt today.
That's cool. And
Lego
last but not least, go ahead.
Sorry. Lego just released also the Seinfeld apartment. So it's like the set of his whole apartment with like the kitchen and everything, and then it has all the figures and stuff. It's
Ben loves Seinfeld.
Yeah,
I might need that.
It's $80. So it's not too bad.
I got Ben something special for Seinfeld.
Gonna make a note.
A few weeks ago. I don't know if he's.
Wait, what's Ben about to show us?
This is
nice.
Katie got me this. The actor who played Yev Kassem. Why can't I think of his name off the top of my head? Because I didn't realize I'd have to be talking about it tonight. Anyway, he was signing pop figures of the Soup Nazi at the Funko store, and Katie knows that I love Seinfeld, awesome. So she got him to sign it. It says, Ben, no soup for you.
That's awesome.
Yes, so.
And usually, he's at like cons signing stuff, but it's like $20 a pop. So to get a figure out of it too.
That's so cool. All right. And last but not least, showing his wares, Cheeseman. You're up.
Well, so again. I'm not muted, am I? I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
You're good.
You're good.
All right. So yeah, I was showing this earlier. These are still on sale. You can get these, the Transformer, Gigawatt. They also, I'm sure the Ecto one's still for sale too, right, Jake?
I think so. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I got one through the website or if I bought it on Amazon or like eBay or something. But yeah, you can. Yeah, if you just search for it, you'll find it somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't really do much this year with. I don't think they did much with Hallmark. With Ghostbusters, I think they were probably counting on the movie coming out sooner, so they kind of probably did a push to some of the stuff. And with the 35th anniversary, because I got this one.
That's cool.
They did do a new one, but it's like all dirty and weathered, like how it looks in the movie. But I don't know if it makes sound. I think it might just be its own.
Oh, they did an ornament of that one?
Yeah, it's all dirty looking and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Did you get that one?
No.
You didn't get that one.
Luke's gonna have to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did like a Bill Murray one last year. So yeah, well, hopefully the universe of the Ghostbusters will continually grow. So I'm gonna show you a few of the other ornaments because I as you can see, there's a big tree behind me. So like I collect a lot of ornaments since I was a kid. I had family members that worked at Hallmark stores, so I always got stuff every year. But then now I've just kind of gotten more into the fandom stuff and started kind of collecting some of my own. So here's some of the photos of some newer ones I got that are currently on my tree. So
nice.
They have an old school Nintendo controller. And this one's was a little like cheaper too. These are like more affordable, like because ornaments can range anywhere from like $8 to up to like $50 if they're like Star Wars, maybe even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, this Nintendo controller, and the ones that usually come with like the ribbon on it, like this one had kind of the white ribbon, although you could cut those off and just use the hook or whatever. I'm not as big of a fan of having the bright ribbon on them, so I don't know if eventually I might cut that off, but I think that would take away from the value. But this one was less. I think it was like $10 or less, so that was a pretty good deal.
I like that it's positioned next to Super Mario right there.
Yeah.
That's
I
good
strategically place them. Yeah.
Yeah. How long did it take you to do your tree, Luke?
It took a while. This one was probably a good 3 to 4 hours to kind of just very strategically place them. Like cleaning up's a lot easier because you just take them off and then you put them in the box. But
yeah,
I try to kind of think about where I'm placing stuff. And there's another one. They came out with like an MTV one. This one actually makes sound. I'm going to play you a video clip of what it's like with sound. And
oh no.
Yeah. And it's actually a longer clip too, like because sometimes the sound's really short, but this one's like 25 to 30 seconds.
Promo music.
Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll.
Lights. It's cool because it lights up as well as making the sound and everything. So it was a good quality one to get. I think that one was probably in the 15 to 20 range. I can't remember exactly how much it was. And a lot of ornaments, if they don't sell, they don't necessarily do the Black Friday sales with these, unfortunately, because they wait till the day after Christmas, stuff starts going on sale, and they start at a certain percentage off, and then as time goes, like another week later, they go down even more. So a lot of this stuff, if they're not overly popular, you can get later. Like a lot of times, like the National Lampoon ones come out with yearly ones, or the Christmas Story, or if there's a certain character that didn't sell as well, you can get those later on. But it's probably the stuff like Boba Fett and a lot of the Star Wars stuff. Those are like, I'm going to show you, like I got a Darth Vader one this year. I'm sure this one will probably sell out.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I was
going to ask about that one.
Yeah, I went like a month or so ago because I happened to be at a Hallmark store, and I was surprised how many they already had when I went.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really impressive.
Luke, they're not on sale, like they're not discounted yet, but they are all on sale. You can find all these right now.
Yeah, like you can buy them. Yeah.
And then 11. So she's the second of kind of the Stranger Things series they've done. They did the Demogorgon last year, so now I have like an 11 that I kind of placed beside, so that's facing off on the Christmas tree.
Oh, that Christmas spirit.
Christmas spirit. Also good for Halloween.
Yep.
And then this one was actually last year. Like, I was surprised. Like, this one was actually on sale. They ended up having a lot of extra Black Widows just because of being a weird year and the movie not coming out yet. They had some extras, so I went ahead and just bought 2 because I got them for a good deal, and it cost for shipping and not any extra.
So, like, we're looking at a Black Widow right now. Just make sure we say what we're looking at for people who are just listening.
Yeah,
but Luke, I think to your point is, all the products and stuff were put into. They were coming out last year because the movie was supposed to be coming out last year. So, yeah, you got a good deal here.
Yeah, so I put her by Iron Man and Captain America. So
and that Hero Within.
What's that?
Ornament up above it. The Hero Within 2020 ornament I see there. Yeah, I got that on my trade too.
Yeah. So I figured that would be a good place right by the Marvel ones for it.
Yeah.
So here's an R2-D2 that came out. And again, this is kind of one of the, when they have the ribbons on them, they're kind of like a little bit cheaper. So this one I think was maybe around like $8 to $10.
Wow.
So good quality there. It's not kind of usually on the main shelf with some of the stuff, but they had kind of like another little area with some of this stuff this was with the Nintendo controller, but definitely good because I have a specific kind of Star Wars tree that I do each year. And then this one was really cool, and it's really big, and I'm surprised, the value you get out of this because, like the same kind of like smaller ornaments still cost like $20, but this one's very big, very grand, like came in a big box because, this is from Falcon and Winter Soldier. So this is, the new Captain America Falcon one. And this is what spoiled kind of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was
what happened, Dick?
That was a big kind of controversy for a while because it was right before the finale aired. Hallmark released the picture, like, here's our new ornaments. And it was Sam Wilson as Captain. And everyone's like, what?
Cool.
So, yeah, they totally botched that. But, yeah, that's really cool ornament.
Also,
you get a good value with this one.
What's up, Katie?
Luke, I don't know if you know this, but Hallmark also had collabed with Funko, and has some ornaments this year.
Oh, I didn't know that. What do they got?
Which I keep meaning to text you about. But they released some of their own ornaments as well that have the same Funko type feel.
That's cool.
They're ornaments, but it says Hallmark and Funko on it. So
okay, yeah.
There's a Hallmark ornament I saw like a month ago, and I didn't have the money, but I was like, I need to go back and get it because it was like an Eeyore ornament, and Eeyore is like my favorite cartoon character. So I was like, I need to go back. I was like, I need to go back and get that.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Hey, Luke, if you want to hurry up, are you finished, or you have a couple more?
Yeah. So those are the main ones I have right now. I have some waiting for me in Ohio that I got.
Running long here.
What's that?
I said we're kind of running long here.
I know.
We're approaching minute 100 of the Con Guy show.
But just very quickly, there's a few other ones I'll be getting. I'm a big fan of the 60s Batman. There's a Catwoman that came out.
One
of the 3 Catwoman. It's the the African American one. Like, so I have that one from in Ohio that I'll be getting. And then I have this is a really cool one. This is one of the more expensive ones. It's a $50 or $60. It's the Batcave, and Batman and Robin slide down the pole, and then they come out the other side as Batman and Robin. So it's it's Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson.
Wait, where are these at?
He doesn't have.
I don't have this one yet. This one my mom got for me.
It's theater of the mind, Jim. Come on.
Yeah. So, and I think, and there's a Jaws VHS one that I'll be.
I saw that. Yeah.
Well.
By the way, your mom said strategic ornament placement on the Christmas tree is a Cheeseman tradition. Mama Cheese is watching.
I'll just say one thing.
Thank God you're here, Cheese Man.
There was one really cool one I saw. I haven't purchased it yet. It was Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett, where he's sitting on the throne, like the scene from the final episode of Mandalorian, where it's just him sitting on Jabba's throne. So that's very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
so I definitely try to get. I bet that one will sell out at some point, probably leading up before Christmas. So some of these, especially the Star Wars one, in the Darth Vader, I'm sure will sell out.
All right. So is that it, Chase?
Yeah, that's it as now for my Hallmark collection.
All right. I think we are coming to a close. Then you have a couple of other pictures on there. Did you want to share something?
Which thing? I think I already showed those. I did them kind of out of order.
At the very bottom.
Oh, we already showed those. Those from the Ghostbusters event.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
I was going to say, though, real quick. Anybody who's a gamer, there are so many deals going on for games right now. Target already has Black Friday going on right now, so if you do not want to go to Doorbusters on Friday, you can go. They are already running out of stuff. I went today, but it is the best time of the year to buy video games. DVDs, if you are a hard copy of DVDs person like I am. Yep. But if you guys go to IGN, they have a list of the best Black Friday deals at GameStop. Games like Legends of Zelda is like $30, which is like over 50% off. They have the Demon Slayer game is on sale. What was the other one? GTA 5 is on sale for like $20. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like $20. Like a whole bunch of games in the $20 to $30 range. So if you have been wanting to get a new game, go crazy on Black Friday and get those games, because they also have a lot of monitors on sale on Amazon, all sorts of gaming tech. So check those out, because I know if you're like me, you want to be a gamer, or you are a gamer, it costs a lot of money. Yeah. So you got to get those deals when you can. So
Tony Kim, Hero Within, they're having some promotions for Black Friday, so go check out Hero Within on social media. Also, a friend of ours, he's been on the show before, David Boer. He's a lawyer.
I love David Boer.
Yes, he's so great. He's a lawyer, making that big money as a lawyer as he writes comic books on the side.
No, I think he stopped.
Yes.
Sorry, did I spoil what you were going to say?
No, that's cool that you know about it too. Yeah, Canto's become so big that he's now quit his law firm. He's full-time comic book writer, and I think he's doing some stuff for Boom Comics now. He is.
Yeah, well, he has been working on the Firefly series for Boom.
Yes, that's so cool. Nice. So we are trying to get him on the show to talk about some stuff that would be a lot of fun. And I think that's all that I have. And Luke, what is that? Oh,
Monster Tees, who we've kind of we talk a lot more on the Scare Guys show. They have a lot of cool shirts and merch. They're going to be doing up to 40% off selective items for Black Friday. So definitely check that out, because there was one time I got like 5 or 6 things, because it would be like $10 for a shirt, or like a hoodie for like $20 or stuff like that. He gives really good deals, as you can see, 40%, and he has really cool shirts. So I definitely check those out if you're.
And that's Monster TEASE.
Yeah, TEASE. He does a lot of like classic Universal monster stuff, or like stuff in the Scream fandom, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th and stuff, all kind of your favorite kind of horror icons and stuff. So definitely check their stuff out.
And although it's not specifically Black Friday, it is going to be on Black Friday. Luke and I will be down at San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition. So the exclusives, we'll be trying to post some of those as we can find them. And I think we're going to have hopefully an easier time getting exclusives this year, since it looks like they're not going to be completely packed, because tickets are still on sale if you guys still want to go to Comic-Con.
Hopefully those will be on sale for Black Friday. We'll see.
What's that?
Hopefully those will be on sale for Black Friday, or the floor will have special deals just for that day.
So Comic-Con special deals. All right, I think we're done here, folks. If we keep on going, we're going to fall over dead because we need to eat and use the bathroom. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for watching the Con Guy Show this week. You can find me here at theconguy.com, also at James D. Fry on Instagram, Jim Fry LA on Twitter, and is my closing statement. One more thing I'm thankful for. I just wanted to save it to the end. I'm thankful for the people on the show. They have been a blessing in my life, and I really do love you guys. You guys have really made this show something fun, and we have gone many years, by many, like 3. So in the world of podcasts, where most podcasts, the average podcast lasts 10 episodes, and we are up over, I think, 250. I think this is reason to celebrate. All right. I'm thankful for you guys. All right, Jake.
You can find me on Instagram at the Jacoba System, and I just want to say thanks again for having me on. It's always awesome getting to talk to you guys and expressing our love over fandom and geeky stuff. So,
and I love the fact you got so many Ghostbusters collectibles. That was the best.
I don't have that.
All right, Cheeseman.
And I just want to say a final thank you to Jake, being the one that kind of showed me Ghostbusters, the movies, for the first time. I saw the cartoon that we maybe briefly mentioned earlier with the boogeyman scared me and my sister to death. Wasn't allowed to watch the cartoon anymore, so I didn't really have a lot of Ghostbusters in my life till I think I saw it in middle school with Jake. I think we watched both of them at our friend.
It was probably this copy.
Yeah, Robbie's house. Yep.
Copy.
That copy right there. So thankful for you, Jake, for being
You're welcome.
Ghostbuster buddy.
And where can we find you, Cheeseman?
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Cheese on Couch, and also theconguy.com.
All right. And Katie?
You can find it's KT_Christina across all social media, TikTok and Twitch. And if you like watching someone get really frustrated and be completely terrible at gaming, when I'm streaming, you can join me. I haven't been streaming a lot, but hoping to get back into it as the holidays come in. But just the nerdy girl of the Con Guy, very active on Twitter, unfortunately. But yeah, if you ever have anything you want, if you have a small business who's having a Black Friday deal, please tweet us. We'll try to get you to retweet or something, because I know a lot of us want to sometimes support businesses that are small, because we all know that it is your livelihood and it's been a rough year. So let us know, and we'll try to get that a shout out on Twitter.
Yes, the Saturday after Black Friday is Small Business Saturday. Support your small businesses, guys. Also, just to tag on to what you're saying there, Katie, Andy Harrow said it's also the 20th anniversary of Xbox and Halo.
Yep.
That's cool. All right. Ben, if you could take us out then.
Halo 2 was my jam. That was my jam back in college. In college, Halo 2 was my jam. Anyway, hey everybody, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I not to step on Jim, but I am also very thankful for this podcast, and Jim and Luke, you guys brought me into the fold, and you know, I met Katie through this podcast, and she's a close friend of mine, and Breeze now, and we love her, and of course we love you guys. And Jake, I've had a blast. The few times we've hung out in person, I've had a blast, and always love hearing what you have to say, and whenever you're in on a text chat or anything like that. So I am very, very thankful for all you guys, and all you folks that watch us every week. All 4 of you, or whomever. And but yeah, and yeah, thanks. And I am thankful for that hashtag show, which hosts our show on their network. And thankful for cons. You know, I could go on. I'm thankful for a lot of things. But I'm also thankful that after an hour and 48 minutes, we're ending our show for tonight. And so remember, folks, my name is Ben Cleaver. You can find me at BENKLIEWER on Twitter and Instagram, or you can search the hashtag BK421. This has been the Con Guy Happy Hour podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Happy Thanksgiving. And remember, the reason that I'm drinking out of this red cup is because whenever Ben Cleaver shows up, it's always a party. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to The Con Guy Show, the official program of theconguy.com. Find us on the Weeby Geeks Collective or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And now on sci-fi.radio, Saturdays at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, both AM and PM. That's 9 o'clock Greenwich. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi.
Right now. Yeah, just do it randomly sitting there. We're not